Welcome to Those Guys Sports. It's your boy Mike, and I made a video, like just an overall NBA weekly. So make sure you tune into that. Make sure you tune in to the Raptors weekly as well. Like and subscribe. This video, I'm talking about the guy behind me, Victor Wembanyama, who's about to be drafted on Thursday to the San Antonio Spurs. They're not going to surprise you. They're not going to trick you. They're going to pick him. That'd be ridiculous. It'd be ridiculous not to pick this guy. He's going to be one of the best players to come out the draft in a while. Some people are saying he is the best young prospect since LeBron James. I'll leave you to that. I don't know. I'm trying to remember, or I do remember the whole LeBron James thing. I am old enough to remember that. And LeBron was like touted to be the guy. Like he was touted to be the one, the chosen one, as he was called. So I'm not sure if Victor's gonna have that same, but I think when it comes to the one, it's everything with it. It's not just the game, it's how you promote the game, it's how you talk to people, it's how you just like how you become that guy, the one, as they would say. Now, in saying that, I believe Victor Wembanyama could do that. I hope so. Like, I hope that we get someone who could be another face of the league, a future of the league. When the NBA is fun, it's nice to watch, of course. The Spurs are going to have a gem of a player. But that's not why I'm doing this. That's not why I'm talking today. I just wanted to chime in, talk a little, sprinkle a little thought to everyone's mind, and tell everyone when it comes to the draft, when it comes to picking first, second, third, fourth, fifth, all the way to 16, the chances of that person succeeding are actually much lower than you would think. They're very low. When you pick first overall pick, you can get hopefully a LeBron, a Tim, an AI, a Kareem, a Magic Johnson. Like, if you're saying that this guy, Victor Wembanyama, behind me, is going to be this person, then you're already saying minimum, in the next 20 years, he's a four-time champion. By minimum, he's four-time champion. Magic has 5 titles. Tim has 5 titles. Shaq has 5 titles. Well, Shaq has 4 titles. Uh, LeBron has 4 titles. So when I think about the guys who really changed the game, you go Magic. The first overall pick that changed the game. Magic did. Then we have, you see, Akeem did his thing. See, I'll say, you know what? I'm gonna change it up. The first overall pick, and I want you guys to really think about this, to lead their team to an NBA title, be the one to lead their team. I'm just gonna we're gonna go that Akeem, right? Magic. I didn't do it in order, but Magic, then Akeem. So that's right there. The next person to lead his team to a title was Shaq. Since then, Tim Duncan. After that, LeBron. No one else since. To be the number one pick, not just a pick. I'm not talking about Steph, I'm not talking about Kawhi, Kevin Durant, I'm not talking about none of those. A number one overall pick to take his team to the finals and win a title. The last time a person did it was LeBron James. Kyrie, being the first overall pick, didn't lead the Cavs to the title. He had the game-winning shot. He didn't lead them to no title. LeBron did, right? The number one overall pick doesn't always lead you to a title. It just doesn't. Look what I just named. That's 5 guys. Magic had Kareem, let's say that, who was also number one pick. He had James Worthy, who I believe was a number one pick or a top 5 pick. Like, he had players. Shaq had Kobe. LeBron had Wade, Bosh, Kyrie, Anthony Davis. All these, Tim Duncan still had one of the best European players ever. 2 of them, Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. Had a young Kawhi. Had, someone say, the greatest coach of all time, Greg Popovich. All these guys had with something. So Victor is never going to do this by himself completely. He's going to have a top player with him. Because that's what everyone else had. They had top players with them. So he'll eventually get that. The Spurs aren't going to be a great team right now. They're probably going to have to grow and build. And that's for us to be patient. And this whole championship culture that we have in the league nowadays is also toxic. I should probably one day make a freaking 50-minute podcast about that. It's toxic because most people don't win their first title until they're 27, 28. Look at history. No one just Magic Johnson coming into the league and winning a title or Tim Duncan. Shaq didn't do it. It took Shaq until he's 27, 28. It took LeBron until he's 27, 28. It takes a bunch of guys. That's why this upcoming season, for next season, who has a high chance? It goes to Jokic again. Giannis already won, but Giannis won at the age of 26, 27. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are in that age now that they can win a title because of the age they're in. That's just how it normally works. Luka is not there yet. So Luka may not win the title for a little bit until he becomes that age. Because some reason it always falls around that time. That's when they're mature, they're at their best, they're at their highest level, they're at their prime around those times. So these guys are still growing. So when it comes to a Victor, a Brandon Miller, a Scoot Henderson, an Amin or a Sir Thompson, these guys need a lot of time to grow. But the league doesn't let you grow that quickly. If you don't perform, you're out of here. You're gone. These number one picks get a lot of chances. But if you're number 8, number 9, number 10, 11, whatever down the line, you don't get the same chances. Chris Dunn got a chance in Chicago, then goes to Minnesota in a trade, doesn't do much. And what happened? Or is the opposite? He went to Minnesota and got traded. He got traded with Zach LaVine. They don't do much. I like Chris Dunn a lot, but unless you keep getting opportunity after opportunity, you do redrafts nowadays. Redrafts are like also the 20th pick is the highest. The one pick is the third. Like do a bunch of redrafts. Think about it. Do a bunch of redrafts. It's honestly barely number one overall pick. Barely. Let's redraft Zion's draft. Are you picking Zion? You're picking Ja. You're probably picking Ja. You're not picking Ayton. You're picking Luka. You know, there's so much guys. You're not picking Ben Simmons. You're probably picking Jaylen Brown, Pascal Siakam, or Brandon Ingram. John Wall, you're not picking. You're picking Paul George. You're not picking Kyrie. You're picking Kawhi. You're like never picking the number one guy as the way you used to. And these all you go down the list, it never goes 1, 2, and 3 in a draft pick anymore. Never, you never see that. It's always like maybe number 5 that was the best player, and then it's number 2, then all of a sudden it's number 17, then number 1 is like they're like, yeah, he's probably the 4th, 5th. So maybe Victor won't be that. We're all thinking that Victor's gonna be the next Tim or LeBron, but he could be the next Blake or John Wall or AI, not obviously MVP type players, Derrick Rose, MVP type players, but injuries derailed them. You're hoping injuries don't derail him. He is 7'6", and with those type of length guys, their foot hurts, blah blah blah. I'm actually predicting this guy doesn't play this season. I actually don't think he's gonna play, and I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. I don't think he's gonna play. Look what happened to Chet Holmgren. Was the number one overall pick, but he didn't play. He had foot injury. Joel Embiid, number 3 overall pick, foot injury. So I'm just thinking like, I'm not too sure if this person's gonna honestly play. But I don't want to go around the bush. I don't want to talk about 10 different things. All I really want to say is that like, when it comes to the draft, you never know what's gonna happen. When it comes to Victor, we're putting too much pressure on this guy, harassing this guy to win a minimum of 4 titles. He has to win 4 titles to be called what they're saying the greatest prospect of all time. He has to win 4 titles now. We've already told this guy he has to win 4 titles in the next 20 years. Is it possible? Of course it's possible. Gets the right teammates, gets the right coach, blah, blah, anything is possible. KG voice, it's possible. But we're telling this guy he has to win 4 titles to be a part of that group, to be a part of the top 15 guys in the league of all time. He has to do that. He has to win 4 titles, and then we'll put him there. Rings matter, ring culture matters. People are already thinking that Lucas is going to leave in like a few years, Dallas, because he's not getting the right team around him. He probably won't be getting it this year either because I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't know what draft pick or anything they're trying to do. So, yeah. And you look at the stats. Brandon Miller, Scoot, Asura Amin, Cam Whitmore, Cavante George, is it Grady or Dick? Like all those people. You don't know what's going to happen. You never know. Not all they're going to make it. It just doesn't happen that way. It just never happens that way. You can't name a top 10 NBA draft that all top 10 or something. Now, really, some of them become role players, things like that. It just happens to be the case. Once you go into an NBA team, you see it. Oh, this person doesn't have number one player potential. Okay, making him a role player. And it happens. Honestly, there's only a few guys that really can be number one guys. Not everyone could be. And honestly, like, your list is short. 10, 12 guys are actually number one guy in this league. So it is what it is. The draft is, I say the same word, the draft is a crapshoot. You never know what's going to happen. The top 15 picks may not end up being what you wanted. So you can be so happy that you drafted these players, but it still doesn't turn out the way you want. I say it all the time. Minnesota drafted two guys and missed on Steph Curry. I just imagine that. I always think about the misses that, teams make. How would the Portland Trailblazers have been? This is just a unfortunate happen. But how would the Portland Trailblazers have been if they drafted a Kevin Durant instead of a Greg Oden? Greg Oden was a good player in college. Injuries derailed him, and that happens. It happens. What can you do? Derrick Rose was a special talent, special talent. But you know what? He played a little too much that fourth quarter, right? What if he doesn't get hurt that time? It's a game changer. Brandon Roy, one of the best shooting guards that we've seen in a while. Where would he be right now? Would he still be in league? Would he be a bench player? Like, he's right now a coach, right? One of the best, players that we saw at that time. We never know. Number two overall pick could be a Kevin Durant, or they could be a Michael Beasley. Number three overall pick could be a Michael Jordan, or it could just be, he wasn't a third overall pick, but like a Josh Jackson. Like he was fourth. You just never know what's going to happen. You don't know what the trajectory of someone's going to be. You just hope that these young guys, take this opportunity, that teams give them an opportunity and a shot. But the guy behind me, Victor, putting a lot of pressure on that young man. And, we're basically hoping he lives up to it. It's a lot to live up to, but you don't know who's going to team up. There's so much talent in the league, so much parity that's been in the league. But eventually there will be juggernauts. That's just the way the league is. It's like the 1970s, there's parity, and all of a sudden the 80s, the Lakers and the Celtics took over. Then there was a little bit of like, Detroit, then Chicago took over, then a little bit of Houston, then Chicago. Then it really became like a back and forth San Antonio Lakers thing. Detroit won a title. Then it just was like, then a little bit of random, like Boston won, Dallas. It's still Lakers. Then Golden State, Miami Heat. That's it. So, and then LeBron, like, let me say LeBron, really. So, well, maybe he can be that. We never know. The sky's the limit for all these young guys. Congratulations to all of them who get drafted. All 60 players get drafted. It's I think we 58 because I think two teams have to forfeit. But shout outs to them, their families. It's money that they never saw before, so it's money they're going to see now. Congratulations to them. Hopefully, we temper some expectations for these young guys and know that they're young, they're talented, they're going to learn, they're going to make mistakes, and it's really up for the fan bases and everyone else to believe in them and so they can carry on. But that's it from me. Like and subscribe. Enjoy the draft. That was just my little draft spiel. I have to turn off the computer now, so peace.